Hey folks, welcome to FarmGear Innovators, the channel where horsepower meets brainpower. If you've ever watched a tractor tear through a muddy field or seen a machine harvest 100 acres in a single day and thought, how the heck does that even work? You're in the right place. Here we dive deep into the real stories behind the world's most advanced farming machines. No fluff, no filler. Just raw power cutting-edge technology and jaw-dropping innovation straight from the heart of modern agriculture. We're talking monster harvesters, robotic arms, AI-powered tractors, and gear that's literally changing how we grow food, feed nations, and fuel the future. Whether you're a hardcore farming pro, a machinery junkie, or just someone who geeks out over brilliant engineering, we've got you covered. So grab a front row seat, hit that subscribe button, and get ready to experience farming like you've never seen it before. This isn't your grandpa's tractor show. This is FarmGear Innovators, where the future of agriculture roars to life. Let's roll. Won the machine that rebuilt a railroad in a day inside the SF 500. All right, buckle up because we're kicking things off with one of the most mind-blowing pieces of engineering on steel wheels, the Placer and Thur SF 500. This isn't just a machine, it's an entire rail renewal factory rolling on tracks. Now picture this, you've got miles of high-speed rail that need maintenance. Traditionally, that means pulling out old ties, laying down new ones, aligning the rails and packing the ballast step by tedious step. That used to take weeks. But the SF 500, it does all of that at once. Using a synchronized assembly line style system, this beast lifts. The track removes old sleepers, inserts new ones, lays down fresh rail, and tamps everything into place, all in one smooth, continuous flow. No stop-start, no manual lifting, just pure mechanical choreography. It recently went to work on the Hanover-Göttingen high-speed line in Germany, renewing critical infrastructure in a fraction of the time. We're talking performance that cuts downtime, saves millions in operating costs, and keeps passenger trains running on schedule. Lesson here. Efficiency isn't just about going faster, it's about removing friction. One machine, multiple jobs, zero wasted motion. And speaking of friction, what happens when you've got to move 300-foot mega machines through small towns without causing chaos? That's what we're about to see next up, the convoy that took over France. Let's roll. To how France moves 300-foot monsters across cities. All right, folks, let's talk about something that's not just big, it's absurdly big. We're heading to France, where an engineering ballet just played out in the streets of Mormont. The mission move a 300-foot-long convoy carrying industrial equipment so massive it looked like a spaceship on wheels. This wasn't your average flatbed haul. This convoy was part of the Total Grand Prix project, a high-stakes, high-precision operation moving oversized, ultra-heavy components used in oil, gas, and energy systems. Think refinery cores, pressure vessels, or turbine housings. We're talking about loads that weigh hundreds of tons and stretch longer than a football field. So how do you move something that big through narrow roads and tight corners without bringing a city to a standstill? Enter engineered choreography. Teams used multi-axle transporters with computer-controlled steering systems that allowed this beast to snake through intersections with millimeter-level precision. Add to that nighttime moves, police escorts, utility line adjustments, and road reinforcement. Every inch was calculated. Quick takeaway. When it comes to extreme logistics, success isn't about raw power, it's about precision and coordination. And if you thought this was massive, just wait until you see what's next. Europe's heavyweight champ that hauls 2 million pounds like it's nothing. Stick around because we're rolling into Felbermayr territory next. Three Felbermayrs heavyweight champions. The science of superload hauling. All right, folks, what do you do when your cargo weighs 2 million pounds? That's not a typo. That's 1,000 tons of sheer industrial muscle that needs to move across real-world roads. Enter Felbermayr, Austria's undisputed heavyweight champion in the world of superload logistics. These guys don't just move big stuff, they engineer the impossible. Their secret weapon, the SPMT, or self-propelled modular transporter. Imagine a high-tech metal centipede with 80 axles, independent wheel control, and a drive system packing 300 horsepower. These transporters can expand, tilt, pivot, and drive sideways, sideways to navigate tight turns, bridges, and uneven terrain like a boss. One of their recent hauls, a multi-section gas scrubber for a petrochemical facility spanning over 430 feet long and 33 feet wide. That's wider than most roads in America. The entire route had to be surveyed down to the inch, complete with temporary road expansions, traffic light removals, and reinforced culverts. Lesson of the day. When the weight seems impossible, the answer isn't more muscle, it's modular design and insane engineering precision. Now, if you thought moving millions of pounds in Europe was tough, wait until you see what happened in the rugged backcountry of Turkey, where the terrain was just as tough as the cargo. Let's head there next. From Alcar to Gordes, the Turkish transport that defied gravity. All right, folks, we're heading off-road, way off-road. Welcome to Turkey, where one of the boldest heavy transport missions in recent memory played out between Alcar and Gordes. The job moved a 1.3 million pound load across nearly 110 miles of winding hilly terrain. No highways, no shortcuts, just raw grit planning and one seriously engineered machine. The cargo was a massive industrial component, likely for energy or mining infrastructure. But here's the kicker. This wasn't flat terrain. We're talking mountain switchbacks, narrow rural roads, and steep inclines that would make most truckers flinch. So how'd they pull it off? With a self-propelled modular transporter, specially outfitted for extreme incline control. The operator managed speed and steering with pinpoint accuracy, while counterbalancing shifts in the load's center of gravity. The escort team included engineers, spotters, and local authorities, all coordinating in real time to handle bridge clearances, sharp turns, and sudden changes in weather. Quick takeaway. In heavy hauling, the terrain is just as dangerous as the load. That's why success isn't just about horsepower. It's about anticipation and real-time adaptability. Now hold on to your hard hats, because up next we're diving into a sleek, high-performance container transport truck out of London that's flipping the script on urban logistics. Twice the load, half the hassle, coming right up. I've the double container revolution, London's bold logistics prototype. All right, now we shift gears from rugged back roads to sleek urban innovation. Let's roll into London, where a new double container truck prototype is making waves and turning heads in the world of urban freight logistics. This isn't your standard rig. This next-gen hauler is designed to carry two 20-foot containers or one 40-foot container at the same time. That's right, twice the load, same truck. Designed for ports, urban hubs, and tight delivery schedules, this beast is built to maximize efficiency while reducing fuel consumption and traffic footprint. Here's how it works. The chassis is reinforced and balanced with an advanced weight distribution system, while the steering and suspension have been completely overhauled for tight turn navigation. And imagine maneuvering through narrow city blocks or docking at a congested port terminal with a full 40-footer, no problem. One trial run at Port of London Gateway showed a 35% reduction in container turnaround time compared to traditional single container trucks. That's a game changer in logistics, especially with global e-commerce and port congestion on the rise. Mini lesson: innovation in logistics doesn't always mean going faster. It means moving smarter and carrying more with less. And if you thought double container trucking was cool, wait until you see what happens when an entire ship needs to hitch a ride by highway. Yep, you heard that right. Coming up next, how Kubler moved a floating giant inland. Let's go. How Kubler moves a ship on a highway. All right, let's talk about something so insane you'd swear it was CGI, but it's 100% real. What do you do when you need to move a 223-foot-long, 80 ton-pound ship over land? If you're Kubler Spedition, you don't blink, you just build the road beneath it. This German logistics powerhouse recently took on the challenge of transporting the Marksburg, a massive inland vessel, for a major waterway project. But here's the kicker, the ship had to be hauled across public highways. That's like moving a submarine through your neighborhood. The operation started with a disassembly plan, not to take the whole ship apart, but to prepare key components for structural support. Next, heavy-duty cranes lifted the ship onto multi-axle lowboy trailers, specially designed for extreme length and weight. Then came the slow crawl through city streets with crews managing bridge clearances, power line lifts, and traffic shutdowns like clockwork. Every inch of the route was pre-surveyed and stress-tested. Drivers didn't just steer, they piloted the load with joystick-level precision. Lesson learned. When the job is this big, preparation is the real engine. Logistics is a game of chess, not checkers. But speaking of risky moves, not every heavy lift story ends with applause. Coming up next, what happens when a single mistake turns a lift into a near disaster. Stick around as we break down the dangers of overloading cranes. Shut when things go wrong, crane failures, and costly mistakes. All right, we've seen some incredible feats of heavy lifting, but now it's time to talk about when things don't go according to plan. Because in the world of mega machines, one wrong calculation can turn $1 million lift into $1 million mess. Let's talk cranes, those towering giants of the construction and transport world. When used correctly, they're miracles of modern engineering. But when overloaded, misaligned, or operated under poor conditions, they can become deadly liabilities. Take this real-life incident: a crane attempting to lift an industrial turbine exceeded its safe load limit. Everything looked fine until the boom began to bend. Seconds later, it collapsed like a folding chair, sending thousands of pounds of steel crashing into the site below. Thankfully, no one was injured, but the financial damage well into the six figures. Or how about offshore wind farm construction? These jobs use 100-ton jackets, steel support structures that must be lifted in extreme conditions. A sudden shift in wind or a miscommunication between teams, and that load starts to swing like a wrecking ball. The lesson here: never underestimate your margins. In heavy lifting, safety isn't a checklist, it's a culture. One lapse in judgment can cost time, money, or lives. Coming up next, we'll show you how some of the heaviest structures in renewable energy are moved not by crane, but by remote-controlled multi-axle transporters. Welcome to the cutting edge of green logistics. Let's dive into offshore wind hauling. Jacked up for offshore wind, transporting 100-ton jackets. All right, folks, let's head offshore, where wind power meets some of the most extreme heavy haul challenges on the planet. We're talking about offshore wind turbines, and more specifically, the 100-ton steel jackets that anchor them to the seafloor. These aren't just big, they're massive tower-sized spider frames built to withstand ocean currents and decades of wear. Now here's the catch: before they ever see the sea, they've got to get there. And that's where companies like T Group, Charles Camag, and Nicholas step in. These industry giants use self-propelled modular transporters, SPMTs, with precision hydraulic leveling and remote control navigation to move these beasts from the fabrication yard to the dock, and sometimes even directly onto specialized ships. Let's break it down. These SPMTs roll slowly, but they do so with millimeter precision. We're talking hundreds of wheels moving in perfect sync, adjusting to surface angles and wind resistance in real time. One job in Denmark involved transporting 5 jackets in a single overnight operation. Coordinating teams permits tides and timing to the second. What's the takeaway? In clean energy, heavy transport is the hidden engine. No matter how green your turbine is, if you can't move it efficiently, it's not going anywhere. Next up, let's leave the ocean and head underground. Sort of. You've seen trucks with one engine, but what about 2? Get ready to meet the mining monster, the twin-engine DPRT road train. Let's hit the dirt. I'm the beast of the quarry, Komatsu 5500's raw power. All right, gearheads, let's crank the power dial to maximum. We're heading into the depths of the quarry to meet a true giant, one of the largest hydraulic mining shovels on the planet, the Komatsu PC5500. And trust me, this beast isn't just big, it's in a league of its own. First off, this monster is powered by 2 diesel engines, putting out a combined 2,520 horsepower. That's more than 3 NASCAR stock cars in one machine. It can move over 50 tons of rock and earth in a single scoop. And yes, you heard that right, one scoop. Used in large-scale operations like open-pit mining, this machine is built to work around the clock. With its advanced hydraulic system, operators can precisely control every movement of its bucket, whether it's digging, swinging, or dumping. Real-world example. At the Barros Marble Quarry in northern Greece, the Komatsu 5500 works alongside wheel loaders and dump trucks to excavate and transport premium white marble that gets shipped across the globe. What's the takeaway here? In high-volume operations, power is nothing without precision, and the Komatsu 5500 delivers both every hour, every shift, every day. Now, if you thought digging rock was impressive, wait till you see how machines keep moving in mud. That's right, we're talking swamps, marshes, and terrain so soft it swallows regular equipment whole. Coming up next, the bulldozer that glides where others sink. Let's go. Ten bulldozers in the swamp. How machines walk on mud. All right, folks, we're heading into the muck literally. Imagine this, you're deep in a swamp, the ground's soft enough to swallow your boot, and somehow a 40,000-pound machine is just gliding across it. Welcome to the world of swamp-grade bulldozers and today's star player, the mighty Caterpillar D6T. Now here's the magic, this dozer isn't defying physics, it's working with it. The D6T uses extra-wide tracks that spread its weight over a larger surface area, dramatically lowering ground pressure. That means it can move across mud marsh and wetlands without sinking in. Think of it like a snowshoe for steel beasts. Powered by a 215 horsepower engine, the D6T is all about smooth, steady push. With advanced blade control terrain mapping and real-time feedback, operators can shift heavy loads of earth debris or even silt without ever bogging down. One real-world example, in coastal restoration projects across the southern U.S., these machines are used to build protective berms and channels in places where trucks or standard equipment would disappear into the goo. Small lesson. In soft ground, flotation beats force. It's not about how heavy you are, it's about how well you distribute it. Coming up next, we're shifting from the swamp to sheer destructive power. Ever seen a wrecking ball meet a concrete newsroom? You will. Let's head to the site where steel met history, the demolition of the Weta Eagle headquarters. When a plane takes the road, the Tu-154's slowest flight. All right, aviation fans and heavy-haul junkies, this next one is straight up unbelievable. Ever seen a commercial jetliner cruising down a country road? Well, that's exactly what happened when a Tupolev Tu-154M, one of the Soviet Union's iconic trajets, took what might be the slowest and strangest journey of its life. The destination, the Konovice Aviation Museum in the Czech Republic. The challenge, get a 150-foot-long, 50-ton aircraft through the tight streets of Litomyšl, a town definitely not built for airplanes. To pull it off, engineers had to disassemble the wings, reinforce roads, and use multi-axle modular trailers with hydraulic suspension and remote steering. Crews lifted power lines, temporarily removed signs, and coordinated with local police to clear intersections. At times, the jet had mere inches of clearance on either side. Talk about flying blind. The move took days, not hours, and locals showed up like it was a parade. And in a way it was, except instead of a float, it was a Cold War-era jet weaving through neighborhoods. What's the lesson? Big move, don't always need wings. With the right planning, anything is transportable, even a plane that once touched the stratosphere. Now, from jets to justice, what happens when a city decides to send a message? With a bulldozer, let's head to New York, where illegal street vehicles met their match metal on metal. The danger of overconfidence, real transport fails. All right, it's time for a reality check. Because for every jaw-dropping success in heavy transport, there's a moment when overconfidence meets gravity and the results aren't pretty. These aren't just mishaps, they're expensive, dangerous and totally avoidable. Let's start with a classic mistake, a dump truck being loaded onto a cargo ship. Everything looked routine until the hoisting cable snapped midair. The truck plunged several feet, smashing onto the deck like a dropped hammer. Luckily, no one was hurt, but the damage to the vehicle and crane setup ran into tens of thousands of dollars. Another example, a bulldozer sliding off a wet lowboy trailer after a sudden rainstorm. The wooden deck was slick, and the operator didn't adjust his angle. Boom, down it went. That recovery took 2 other machines and a full day's delay. And let's not forget the twin-axle trailer that blew a tire on a tight curve. The rig jackknife blocked traffic for hours and caused a spill that shut down a state highway. Mini lesson here. In the heavy transport world, the most dangerous phrase is "we've done this 100 times." That's when mistakes happen. But hey, not all heavy-duty action ends in disaster. In fact, some of it ends in full-on destruction on purpose. Coming up next, we're heading to New York City, where bulldozers are being used not to build, but to send a message. You won't want to miss this. "13 Extreme Trucking, the twin-engine mine haulers." All right, it's time to head off-road again. But this time, we're going deep into the mining pits. Meet the DPRT, the dual-powered road train, a mining hauler so massive it needs 2 engines just to get rolling. Yep, you heard that right. 1 truck, 2 power plants, and enough torque to move mountains literally. Designed by K-Line Trailers, these beasts are built to haul up to 880,000 pounds of ore, gravel, or earth. That's nearly 4 times the payload of a standard American semi-truck. So why 2 engines? Simple. One powers the front, the other drives the rear, distributing force across the entire vehicle. That means less stress on individual components, better traction on rough terrain, and improved braking under extreme loads. These machines shine in open-pit mining operations like those in Australia and South America, but similar concepts are being explored in the Southwest U.S., where long hauls and harsh terrain are daily reality. Here's the takeaway. Sometimes doubling down is the smartest move. 2 engines don't just mean more power, they mean balance, control, and efficiency on unforgiving ground. And speaking of control, wait till you see the kind of precision needed to move massive ship sections by highway. That's what we've got coming next in a story where heavy steel meets rolling rubber. Let's get into it. "14, from concrete giants to rubble, demolishing the past with precision." All right, we've seen machines build the future, but now it's time to watch them bring down the past. Welcome to the high-stakes world of precision demolition, where every swing counts and one mistake can level the wrong building. Our spotlight lands on a demolition site where a historic industrial plant was being torn down to make way for a modern development. The star of the show, a 400-ton crane equipped with a massive steel wrecking ball swinging with surgical intent. This wasn't some wild, uncontrolled takedown. It was all about measured impact, structural sequencing, and staying within city safety codes. In one unforgettable moment, the ball collided with a 2-foot-thick concrete wall, sending vibrations through the entire block. But thanks to detailed planning down to structural stress points and debris zones, the building came down exactly as predicted. No accidents, no surprises. Crews often use robotic breakers, high-reach excavators, and sometimes even implosion charges, but when the job calls for old-school impact with modern oversight, the wrecking ball still earns its place. Mini-lesson destruction is easy, controlled destruction is an art. It's about knowing when to push and when to pull back. Now for our final story, we're going even bigger. Imagine a cargo so heavy, so oversized that no standard trailer on Earth could carry it until now. Up next, the superload that redefined the limits of transport engineering. Let's finish strong. "15, final verdict, what these machines teach us about progress." All right, folks, we've traveled highways, rail lines, mud flats, mine pits, and even downtown streets with some of the biggest, boldest machines on the planet. But now it's time to ask the big question: what do these machines really say about us and where we're headed? From the SW500 rail renewal monster to the twin-engine mining hauler, Each machine wasn't just about size or strength, it was about solving a problem with precision planning and innovation. These machines tell the story of progress, how we're constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible, whether it's laying new tracks, moving 2 million-pound loads, or gliding bulldozers across marshland without sinking. They also teach us something deeper in this world. Power means nothing without control. Every successful transport lift or demolition job we've seen relied on human judgment, engineering foresight, and next-level teamwork. Final takeaway. The future of infrastructure, energy, and logistics won't be led by the loudest or the heaviest, but by those who adapt, innovate, and execute with precision. And if you've loved this journey through the world of heavy machines, hit that subscribe, smash that like, and drop a comment on which machine blew your mind the most. This is FarmGear Innovators, where muscle meets method, and we'll see you in the next episode. Let's roll. And that's a wrap, folks. You've just seen the real giants of the industrial world in action, from rail-ripping machines and swamp-surfing bulldozers to jetliners rolling through small towns and twin-engine mining haulers pulling off the impossible. This is the kind of raw power and precision engineering that keeps the world turning, and here at FarmGear Innovators, we're just getting started. If you're the kind of person who gets fired up watching machines crush limits, solve massive problems, and make the impossible look routine, you're in the right place. So here's your move. Smash that like button if you learned something new. Hit subscribe to stay locked in with the boldest machines and breakthrough tech in farming, construction, and logistics. And drop a comment below. Let us know which machine blew your mind or what you'd love to see next. This is FarmGear Innovators, where horsepower meets brainpower, and the future of heavy machinery is just one video away. Until next time, stay curious, stay powerful, and keep rolling.